After 2 days in Grayling, finally time to hit the road. And I'm practicing my leave late after a 0 day. And it feels pretty good. I didn't leave there till 3:30 this afternoon. Only going about 7 miles. Camp on some random forest land. And then after that will be, this total section will be 10 days without a stop down to Lansing or thereabouts. It's about 150 miles. We'll see if I make it. Yeah, well, I can make it physically. It's just a mental thing, about not stopping and having people be able to smell me 2 miles before I get there. So anyway, 10 days to Lansing, and then another 2 days off there probably. And then I think the next section will take me into Ohio, maybe. I think. I'll know when I get there. I notice that a few of these property owners have put up brand new no trespassing, no hunting signs. Guess they're getting ready for hunting season. Make sure that nobody comes in to their properties. But it's interesting to see brand new signs pop up like that. A couple more right there. Houghton Lake, or just past Houghton Lake, or Houghton Lake, however they pronounce it over here, is the goal today, 20 miles. And it's going to be a nice warm day, 75, 76, and 61 at night. I like that. I need to find more of these. This is a motorcycle track that's going through the forest here. Cutting me, saving me maybe 10 yards, it's about all, but still, it's just like a little hiking trail, and it's pretty nice. Here's Houghton Lake. It's just off of where I am. It's just off Old 27, and it's one of the first two lakes, and as you can see, relatively sizable, that I'll be going through today. The next one is coming up is Houghton Lake. And I think that's about another 2 hours or so from now. And, maybe 3 hours. And then the goal for today is just camping somewhere southwest of Houghton Lake, in a little random forest area. And if I feel up to it, then I'll go another couple miles or so to make it 22 miles for the day, to another little random piece of forest. So Houghton Lake, and then Houghton Lake coming up next. You know what I've been craving this whole trip, right? Orange juice, apple juice, watermelon, lemonade with pulp, and grape juice. Well, so far I've had all of those. Well, not the lemonade with pulp, it's just been the yucky bottled lemonade. Never found the grape juice. Until today. Oh, thank you. And it is 100% juice. So, I should have bought two, but two probably I'd be sorry if I did. So hopefully next store down the line tomorrow, I'll find some more maybe. So I'm in Houghton Lake, And I'm just about the same timing as yesterday. I got 7 miles to go, and it's a little after 3:30, and I left Grayling yesterday with 7 miles to go. So I think I'm going to try doing 7 miles, and that'll put me on about 21 or 22 miles for the day. Extra mile a day. It's not going to do it, but extra 2 miles a day might get me into Lansing. Excuse me, a day early. So let's see what we can do. Well, here's Houghton Lake, Michigan. It's also the headwaters of the Muskegon. Is it Muskegon River? And it's a big tourist place, fishing, boating, just hanging out in the natural beauty. They have a lot of different attractions, festivals. One of it's the, I think it's an ice fishing festival, I think, in the winter, if I remember correctly. Houghton Lake, just like Houghton County itself up in the Keweenaw, when I started the trip, is named after their Michigan's first geologist. His last name was Houghton. So, and Houghton Lake itself has got a population of 3,400. So glad I got to see it. So now it's on. Gonna try and hit 7 miles more. It's almost 4 o'clock, and see what happens. I've been wanting to mention this for a while now. Take a look at this fencing. It's interesting how, and I mentioned this last year on the Walk Across America. It's interesting how different places do their fences differently. Last year, for example, how some areas had just 3 strands barbed wire, some had just 4, some had 5 strands. But here in Michigan, no barbed wire at all. It's all been this crosshatch type of stuff. Even up on the Upper Peninsula, the very few fences that I saw have all been this crosshatch stuff. So it's really interesting. Now when I get back into Ohio, of the few fences that I remember seeing there, they were all barbed wire. So Michigan, so far you got unique fencing. Howdy. So today has just consisted of walking Old 27 from south of Houghton Lake. But a couple of special things though. The first thing is that since I'm 5 miles ahead, I was looking for a new campsite from where I was going to sleep tonight. And so near the city of Harrison, I noticed this 128 acre parcel, and it was owned by a place called the Carriage House. So I looked it up, and there is a place called the Carriage House Inn. So I called them up, and Amy answered. Hello there, Amy. And asked if I could have permission to camp on the south part of their acreage, away from their house and their inn and all that. So she got back to me and she said, yeah, you can do that, but if you want, since we're renovating the inn and nobody's staying here, you can stay in one of the spare bedrooms tonight. So thank you very much, Amy. The second thing is, about 6.5 miles outside of town, I stopped to get something to eat at the Long Lake Bar and Grill, and got something I haven't gotten for a while, a grilled cheese sandwich. A grilled ham and cheese sandwich. Anyway, there are a couple guys there. We got talking, and then one of the guys left, and then I was getting up to leave and getting ready to pay, and they said, well, no, your meal's already been paid for. And so when I asked who, they said it was the guy that left. His name was Rico. So Rico, if you're watching, thank you very much. I'll be sure to pay that forward. And same thing with you, Amy. All right, so I understand it might start to rain about 6 o'clock. And that's about a little less than an hour from now. I've got a little bit more than an hour to get over to Amy's place, so let's see if I make it. Pretty little road though. It's called Grant Road. I'm glad to get off the margins of the dirt road with the little slope and walk on a real dirt road. Now that would be a haunted Halloween house, wouldn't it? I've said this before, you always wonder what became of the families that were part of this land and these houses, and now they're just long forgotten structures that are sitting there to one day fall to their doom, huh? Take a look at this nice property. All these nice pines and all that. And look at that. So I stayed here, they call it the Carriage House Inn. Thank you very much, Amy. As I mentioned yesterday, I saw this big piece of land, and so I called and they said I can camp on here, and then later on said, just stay inside tonight. So if you ever get to Harrison, Michigan, look up the Carriage, is it Carriage House or Carriage Hill Inn, and they'll set you up. Nice place. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now it's on to Clare, Michigan. Clare. Whenever I hear the word Clare, I always, for some reason, think about speaking Irish, you know. Clare sounds just like an Irish name, but if you've ever seen the movie Claire and Francis, then you know that's not really the case. And if you haven't seen the movie Claire and Francis, it's actually a pretty nice movie, so check it out. Well, I had to stop here for a second. I wasn't scheduled to stop and just share something. Really interesting feeling just washed over me just a little bit ago. I was walking down the road here, and I was making note to myself of how nice it felt with the cool air, but with the warm sun at the same time striking me. And then I had this feeling all of a sudden wash over me of a time, I think this is when it was, a time when I was at my grandparents' house, my mom's parents, in LA, and I'll show you a picture of it here. I think it was at Christmas time, and I was outside. I was all by myself, and there was nobody around because I guess everybody was inside doing their thing for Christmas morning, or they were at church or something. But it was the same thing. I just remember feeling the cool air, but the warm sun. And yeah, it's really interesting. My grandparents, they had a nice, it was a nice apartment. In the picture you can see, I'll show it to you again here. It's gray now, but back then it was pink. And my uncle lived with them too, the uncle who I took care of when he died. So it's really interesting how you can get these feelings, you know, just out of the blue, and how they bring back memories. So anyway, just thought I'd share that, whatever it's worth. Long straightaway to Clare. And a long straightaway from Harrison. What's broken us up though is the slight hills has made it a little bit more varied, so that you're just not staring at a straight stretch, but you're getting to see a little bit of the lay of the land. Clare is that way, maybe what? I don't know, 5 miles, something like that. And then I turn left and go another mile or so, another couple miles past it. So nice day. Just following old 27 like I have been since Grayling for the most part. Somewhere up here I'll turn off of it, but I don't know where. And let's see, tomorrow is I think somewhere around Mount Pleasant. No, somewhere a little bit past Mount Pleasant. And after that, is it Alma? I have no idea where I'm going. All I know is that I've got 7 more days to Lansing, which will finish the 10-day stretch, and take a couple days off there, and then head out to Ohio. I've always found it amazing, especially on the trip last year and now on this trip here, how much flat land there actually is when you look out on the horizon. You know, not being from where I am, having the mountains and the sea and all that in the hills, the flat expanse just has always taken me in, so to speak. So anyway, like I mentioned, Clare is down that way, and then more flat land. It's pretty. Hello there. How y'all doing, huh? All right. They had to say hi to me. Or was it I had to say hi to them? I haven't come across this since last year. That's the first large field of soybeans that I've seen. Pretty close to harvest, I think. I'm getting deeper and deeper into farming country. I've seen more and more farms and pastures as I've been walking into Clare, and I think I'm going to be seeing more of that as I continue south. It's kind of like being with an old friend from last year. Nice views, huh? Look at those clouds. There's the town of Clare, Michigan, and the Tobacco River. I'll tell you about that in a second, and one of their parks here. But I want to show you this as well. Remember last year when I was coming into and out of Harper's Ferry on the bridge going over the river, and I mentioned the locks? Well, look, people have been putting locks here on this fence as well. What do you know? It's kind of a pretty reflection, isn't there? And look, the water is pretty clear on the Tobacco River. So back in 1864, let's see, a guy named McEwen, he was from Ireland. He bought some acreage here, he plotted out the land, he was a surveyor, and he named the area got named Clare for his where he came from, County Clare, Ireland. So there is some little bit of Irish history, I guess you'd say, about Clare. 1868, he established a logging camp. 1870, the railroad came through, and again, this is all timber and logging country. And then Clare just continued on. It prospered through the years. And then in the 60s, when the freeway went through, the freeway bypassed Clare on the west side, I think, of the town. But it continued going on through the years. So that's the history of Clare. Well, I do have to say that Clare, for a small town, is one of the more bustling small towns that I've come across on my journeys. 3,100, I think, is population right now, but it certainly looks like there's a lot going on. And they even have this old-time hotel here, the Hotel Dorothy. If it was a day off, I'd look forward to staying there, but onward and upward. So, Clare, Michigan. Nice little place. Check it out. For the end of the day, look, huh? More soybean fields. Got that nice golden glow. Anyone ready for some fresh corn on the cob? Although I think this just might be commodity corn, used for things like cattle feed, high fructose corn syrup, cornmeal, all that stuff. And over here we got soybeans. Which way is up? Which way is down? Oh, okay. This is Lake Herrick, or Herrick Lake recreation area. I'll be calling this home tonight. Look at that. It's really hard to tell which way is up and which way is down, huh? So locked out, it says no park ranger on duty. Go pick a vacant spot. So I'm gonna go pick a vacant spot, and if they come around, then I gotta pay. If they don't, then it's a freebie tonight. Looks like something hasn't moved for a while, huh? Why, y'all mules? No, donkeys, mules, whatever you are. You aren't burros. How you doing? Oh, okay. I won't come any further. Don't be so skittish. I'm your friend. Okay. See you later. Here's something nice. Can you hear that? Besides the wind, can you hear that? No, of course you can't. I'm finally back on to a quiet road after pretty much having noise with me ever since, so I guess Indian River. It's nice to be back on a not lonely, but a very less traveled country road. This is Leeton Road, and it's southeast of Clare, northwest of Mount Pleasant. I'm on the way to the Saginaw Chippewa Indian tribe. Let's see if they'll let me camp there. It says on the website that no tent camping allowed, but maybe I can sweet talk my way into it, huh? Otherwise, I'll just have to find some farmer's land and see if they'll let me camp there. And look at this, getting into some more farming and ranching country. Hello guys, how you doing? Just standing there looking at me, huh? All right, I don't know how far I've gone, how much I've got left, but it's sometime afternoon, I think. Gonna have to stop up here for a while pretty soon. I haven't eaten anything this morning except for a few mango slices, and I'm a little hungry, and there's nothing between here between where I started and where I'm going, so I guess it's gonna be time to have brunch. Soybeans, still going through soybean fields and cornfields as well. But I found a new crop that's being grown. Right over here, it's called wind turbine. And you can tell that it's getting close to being harvested because the blades aren't moving. Once the blades stop moving, then it's harvest time, and they got to plant new ones. You can see over there, those ones are getting ready to be harvested as well. They're not moving. And over on this side as well. And that's right, every time that the blades stop moving, that means it's they're fully grown, and they got to plant some new ones. I'm about halfway between Mount Pleasant and Clare, southeast of Clare, and northeast of Mount Pleasant, and I'm still liking this little country road here. Of course, just now when I stopped, 3 cars went by, but it's been pretty quiet. Maybe a car or a truck every 6 minutes or so. And speaking of those wind turbines, I know that they have them on the Front Range in eastern Colorado just before you get to Denver. Once again, I must take a round turn somewhere in Colorado. And speaking of harvests, you know how yesterday I was telling you that that windmill back there was ready to be harvested because it's not moving. These ones here still have probably another couple weeks to go before they get harvested and replanted.